My name is Cesar Valderrama. I am the director, producer, and writer of this film, PTSD, Pursuing to Save David. And hopefully it will be coming out soon. If not at one of the nearby film festivals, hopefully we'll premiere it within the next 2 to 3 months.
Hey guys, my name is Gene Perez, and I am the lead actor, David, in Pursuing to Save David. I also helped write the story of it.
Do we clap?
You don't have a clapper. You guys can be the clapper.
We don't have a
clap.
All right.
Clap. All right. Yeah. All right. I'm here with Cesar Valderrama and Gene Perez.
Yeah, all right.
Heard you got a short film coming out, right?
Yes, I do.
All right. So I have a couple questions for you guys.
Thank you.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. First question is, how did you come up with the title of the short film?
Actually, when Gene was presenting the idea, the concept of the story to me, he came up with like a clever way of making like the initials for like PTSD to stand for something. Mm-hmm. So originally he stated saying pursuing to save David, and the character's name would be David, hence creating the title itself. But then I didn't like pretending. I didn't feel like that would send the right message. So then I thought pursuing is a more acceptable way of, I guess, presenting this. So he came up with 99% of it. I came up with the whipped cream on top, basically.
Which is what all that matters. Really.
Which is all what that matters. Because it really doesn't matter. He just presents it and I complete it, basically.
Okay. Because when I first saw it, like PTSD, I know that's post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yes.
And when you said it was like the actual title, the pursuing, I saw pursuing, I was like, that's not what it stands for. So I got confused, and I had to look it up. I was like, it does mean post-traumatic stress disorder. So I think that's a good way to catch people's attention.
Yeah. No, it was very smart of him. First smart ideas he's ever had.
So, I read the synopsis of the film, and I know it does have to deal with post-traumatic stress. So how much research did you guys do for this?
There is definitely a little bit difficulty on like that. Like it's difficult when trying to research about post-traumatic stress disorder because there's a lot of information about veterans and people who not specifically have to have been at the war. Like they could have dealt with different circumstances like rape or their own suicidal and crazy mentality ideas like that. So I rather try to get statements from like some people who are actually from the war and give me like their ideas. I'm not sure if I can give away some names, so I'd rather just like stated some names. But like I've asked like what were like some of the symptoms, what were some of the things that I guess when they came back to like reality, like what were some of the difficulties about settling back in. So I try to incorporate that as much as I can into the film while still trying to keep honest to my concept.
That's cool. I always thought that psychology in general is interesting, like how the human psyche works. Yeah. So I know that is a whole nother level of psyche that really messes people up. Like the war veterans, oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, hands off to all the veterans out there.
Yes, most definitely. Veterans. I couldn't do it. My next question, what are some of the challenges in choosing what to include in a film like this, since PTSD is so wide? Like there's so many different stories that people go through after war. Like how did you narrow down what specifically to focus on within this character?
Well, first I wanted to start it off with try to get the concept right on this one because I've seen like a lot of films, and a lot of the films like you can pretty much tell that the person is going through the PTSD. So you can tell like when the flashbacks are happening, when the occurrences of their reactions is happening. And this one I try to do it a little bit different, as in towards where I want the audience to feel like where they don't know where reality is happening, so that they feel like they're the ones having the PTSD as well. So that way it feels like, wow, okay, this is what's happening. No, actually, this is the reality. Oh wait, no, maybe I was wrong. This is the real reality. So then they start doubting what really reality is, and that's like some of the symptoms that PTSD people suffer. They don't know what reality is sometimes, and that's something where I wanted to like focus on.
Okay. Kind of segued into my
next question. Great.
Drop the cap.
Oh, I'll pick that up for you.
Okay. Thank you. I was gonna ask, what can people take away from this film that they think they can relate to, even if they don't suffer from PTSD?
That's a good question. I think that might be my toughest one so far.
He asked for tough questions.
Yes, I did ask for tough questions. I did. I think,
for example, I don't suffer from PTSD,
right.
but I have a lot of stress. There's a lot of stress, and
College
sometimes I
students,
wish this
ex-college
wasn't real.
student, oh, yeah.
But that's as far as the extent I go. But what about other people who come to see this?
I think a lot of people sometimes maybe overlook, since it's something that's not visible. You know, there's some people who lose limbs, some people who lose family members also as well. And so when you don't see visually like what possibly has happened to them, like it doesn't specifically has to be war. This one's specifically about war, but if you don't visually see what's like happening, sometimes it's difficult to understand or cope or try to sympathize with the people. So I think a lot of times people overlook it or try or don't understand quite clear enough that they need our help as much as they sometimes try to feel like they're, because they've been so much like focused and in order, and that they're like they feel like they can take care of themselves, but the minute they come back home, it's not the same way, and it's hard to settle in, and we have to be there for them. We can't just abandon them. And it feels like, I don't know if there's enough programs out there. I could have done a little more research on that, but I wish there were more programs about that helping, because like they've done such great services for our country, and it's a shame that some of them are either homeless, some of them have the help or the necessary help that they would need to like continue stabilizing themselves back into society. So it's very upsetting on that part, but I'm trying to make sure like it's not always like happy-go-lucky, there's going to be a happy ending. It's most likely sometimes this is reality, sometimes this is what they go through, and it can be an upsetting situation, but it's what happens.
Yeah, it's good. Next question for Gene.
Yo, what's up?
I hear you're...
I forgot about it.
Yeah, completely forgot about it. I hear you're in the short.
Yeah.
I hear you're in the film.
Oh, really?
You play a little character, right?
Yeah, just little character's name is David. A few minutes on screen.
So
It's probably like 2 minutes.
Tell me a little bit about your character.
David is a military veteran. He leaves for war because he is he comes from a family of war veterans, and so he has that sort of pressure to join the war, to make his family proud. So that's the reason he goes to war. He comes back. The difference is because a lot of people, a lot of families are proud for their family members who are in the war, veterans. But his family is just not as proud as he thought they would be.
Okay.
So he deals with a lot of neglect, and that just triggers more of the PTSD because like Caesar said, PTSD is something you can't really see. So when people tend to ignore it, neglect it, that person, veteran, really can't get that help that they need. So he goes through a lot. He goes through a lot physically and emotionally, a lot of mental stuff that goes on. And the great thing about this is that the way Caesar had it, so it's both realities, you don't know which one you're really in, is that you see him suffering in either one he's in. He's never at a state where he's at this good place. He's always at this place where he's either trying to run for his life or taking cover from gunshots, to trying to get approval from his father, who's doesn't really care about about who he is. He's more focused on, did you get any medals? Did you do any of this? Did you get any ranks? So he deals with a lot throughout the film.
Okay. I like that character already.
Yeah.
How about a question for both of you guys next? So since this deals with PTSD of focusing on what is real, what isn't real, when I dream, right? When I dream, I don't know that the dream is a dream. You know how some people are lucid dreamers, they can tell. So has that ever been a dream that you had, either one of you? We'll start with, let's say, your sister first.
Being in war.
Not war, but a dream that you had that you thought was real.
Okay.
I still have post-traumatic stress disorder about college and like bringing in essays, or I forgot a homework, or I need to take a midterm and I'm like 2 days late on taking it, and I still like wake up thinking, oh my god, I still gotta go. Oh no, I don't. I finished. I graduated. Like, so like that kind of stress, like, you know, like I'm guessing it's nowhere near to what they go
that
through.
extent,
But like I guess maybe that the pressure, or like the mentality of like the another thing that I try to segue in is society, how society wants, like, tries to, like, I guess paint the image like they're very patriotic and that they care about this, but then the minute that it turns out to be like a bad thing, like the Vietnam War, or like right now the Afghan war that's happening,
Right.
some people turn their back away and then they're like, oh, I'm not for the war, I'm not for that, and then they don't like support as much as they had before. You know, no one in general supports war, but like some feel like some were patriotic during some times, some weren't. And I guess it's like a society thing for me as well, like where it's like you have to do good, otherwise you can't succeed in life.
Right.
So that kind of post-traumatic stress disorder happened to me a couple of times.
Yeah,
So,
happens.
yeah.
How about you, Jim?
I always have this dream where I'm running late to class, and then I can't tell which is
A
real
dream?
or not.
Are you
I know
sure it's
that's
not a
the thing.
reality?
'Cause I've been late before, so like I'm not sure. It's like, am I dreaming? Is this real? And half the time I am dreaming, half the time I am late to class. But that's something that I have a lot of dreams of.
And production.
Pretty much that. The same thing you said with assignments and stuff. Those are more dreamy, because I tend to actually do my assignments. Well, it's not all about school. Let me see. During filming though, it's something that I don't know if I mentioned to you, but during filming I had a lot of because I did a lot of research on PTSD and veterans. I actually had a few dreams where I was actually under fire in whatever. I was like in war. I was hiding and just gunshots. So I guess I'm glad it didn't. That's where it ended for my PTSD. I'm glad it didn't go full PTSD.
It made it that far.
Did a
Since
method
at that
actor
point,
thing.
yeah.
But yeah. But that's one of the dreams that I had a lot during the 3-month shoot.
Deep into character.
Yeah.
Dreaming as David.
I watched a few documentaries. I watched Korengal's great documentary about these American troops. They're up in the Korengal Valley, which is in Afghanistan. It's basically on top of this mountain, and it's basically surrounded by forests, and there's just Taliban all around them. So they have to be on guard 24/7. It's a great documentary I saw. Saw a few films that dealt with PTSD as well, and I saw multiple interviews on YouTube with just getting into the mentality of these people, seeing how they live, seeing what they've been through. It's been an eye opener. Even on Facebook, I joined a group. I think it's called Military for PTSD, where it's like just people bring awareness. You know, like that group also helped me as well. I saw different posts and stories, people writing of their PTSD. So for me, it was a lot of I did a lot of research, and well, one thing I failed to do that I really wanted to was sit down with somebody with PTSD, but I had a little trouble with that with scheduling and stuff. But besides that, I did a lot of research, documentaries, films, actual stories from people who've been through this stuff.
So that's helpful.
Yeah.
To actually sit or interact with a group like that. Like it is, because some people have different ideas of what it is.
Yeah.
And will build their own idea on that without getting any other sources for what it is.
I wanted to make an honest portrayal of PTSD. I didn't want it to be, because some people will be, some actors will be like, oh, I know what it is, I'm gonna give it my spin on it.
Right.
I want to take it from these people who actually been through it, and I want to bring that to light.
Have either of you ever thought of joining the military, like in the past or in the future, or
I thought about it.
Depends on what section I'm doing, but
what branch did you?
Definitely not the fighting.
Not was that Marines and Army?
Probably, maybe like
Air
the
Force
Navy.
or Navy.
Yeah, the Navy. I can see the Navy.
like like
All
probably
white
like
uniform.
computer
on
type,
the
computer guy?
techie
technical
guy,
side.
the techie guy, or the nothing.
Something, not the shooting.
Not the
Yeah,
shooting.
definitely. That's true.
I wouldn't mind practicing shooting, just to be prepared in
But the
case of
actual-
anything. But the actual like.
Get all his stress out.
Yeah.
I thought about joining remember one day, my senior in high school, they have like this whole job fair and people come and see, different things you want to be. I remember this Marine came in, and like he had this really cool hat that said Marines, and I was just focused on that hat because I needed a new hat, and so he was like, well, I'll give the hat to anyone who could do 30 push-ups. I was like, I got this. So I 30 push-ups, and I got the hat, and after that I did a 15-minute lecture about how I should join the Marines. And at first I was like, I just wanted the hat, to be honest. Then afterwards, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And it's like, like it's something. I have a lot of respect for people who do it, but I couldn't see myself doing it, it's the whole thing of leaving to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like if it was like maybe like the National Guard or something, to stay in the States, then maybe. But that whole idea is like.
Yeah. Well, I have 2 more questions for you guys.
No problem.
Yeah. All right. First question is, this is a short film, right?
Yep.
Yes.
So usually short films are kind of blindsided from the public, like big blockbusters or feature films. Like more people are aware of those, and there are a lot of short films that are amazing and just as good that deserve its own light. What makes this short film like that? What makes this short film like people should go see it or people want to see it?
Let me get back to you on that. Maybe Gene wants to comment on that.
Throw him under the bus.
I think. Thanks, buddy. I think a lot has to do with the awareness of PTSD, and you have like these big blockbusters like American Sniper, but this this guy Kyle, his name right, Kyle?
I believe.
Kyle.
I'm not sure.
Not sure.
I'm not 100%.
This is
Fact
last
check
name.
us, please.
Fact check, yeah.
Please.
Yeah,
But
we're
it
wrong,
just
we're
shows
wrong.
If we're wrong,
it shows the story and how he goes through it. I thought it was a great film, but I feel like a lot of films that deal with awareness of some sort should always be in line, because even before we started this film, I knew about PTSD, like I knew like what happens, like I knew to an extent what people go through, but it wasn't until I actually started doing research, like, oh shit, this isn't good, this affects a lot of people, and just like going to war and like fighting for our country, then coming back and just having it, like, the best. And you see all these homeless veterans or these these guys who don't have a place to go or like support. It's like, come on, man. Like, these guys are putting their life on the line for you, like this government. And you guys can't just help them out. Even give them like a house or something.
Yeah.
And if they have like military benefits, it's like it doesn't do as much as they should do. So I feel like this show is definitely bringing awareness to that aspect of PTSD. Also, I think it does a good job with the storytelling as well. I think me and Caesar really sat down and really drew the story out, because at first we went through so many changes and we had a few different scripts, but at the end story was actually pretty good, because what we did was, it's funny because me and Caesar would sit down and we'd write stuff, and I swear I remember us going like, what if it ends like this?
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, that's
God,
amazing!
that
Oh
would
wait,
be-
no, wait, what? And then we knew it because we brought it to one of our friends. We trust him a lot with his opinion, and we brought it to him, and we just he kind of read the ending, and we're sitting there really waiting for him to respond, and he just goes, Hold on, man. I'm just have to. You have to think about that for a bit. I'm like, yes, that's what we need.
That's exactly what we
That's
want.
the reaction we need. Yeah.
To definitely piggyback on what Gene is saying. I think definitely what the storytelling here is not obviously at beyond like great expectations, but it's I think it tells a great story of what I felt I'm very proud of in the end when what we had, because originally it was much longer than what it is supposed to be, and when cutting it down, editing, getting people's different viewpoints, getting people's opinion, I think really helped the script a lot, because then that gave me ideas to create what the story basis is, and giving a lot of fleshed out characters, so that way it's not like, okay, this character's here for no particular reason. Every character has a specific reason, and they move the story. So even though at some point where you're like, I'm not sure about this character, it all comes back at the end. You're like, all right, that makes sense. Now I understand why this happens. And I feel like this a lot of the people were very engaged in the project. A lot of the people who were crew, actors, people from outside are supporting this so much, and I'm very, very grateful and happy that I have a great a bunch of people out there who are supporting this. So I'm very happy that a lot of people are excited about this. So it makes me excited too. It makes me feel like, wow, you know, I'm presenting something hopefully amazing to the viewers' eyes. And I think a lot of people will be shocked from seeing this film, saying like, wow, I was not expecting that from a first-time director. So
Right, first time
director, but I feel like I've gotten a lot of feedback, and I'm very, very happy with it. I'm very
That's
happy.
great.
Yeah.
Forget the other question. that was great. That was a good, like, you know,
A great closer.
a great closure. right
Okay.
there.
All right. Tell me what the question is later. So.
Yes.
Thank
you
you
for
so much,
having
man.
me.
Yeah.
And,
No, thank you so much for doing this for us.
Pretty much covered everything else.
And that's it.
Thank you so much, Justin.
Thanks
No
again,
problem.
Justin.
Thank you guys. I can't wait to see it.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.